Welcome to the Tribulation, day 88. I'm still here. The world is still here. And it continues to spiral downwards into chaos. This morning, the markets are tanking again, globally, not just in the U.S. More countries in Europe on the brink of default. You know, yesterday there was a slight rally when Bernacke, the Fed chair, made a just absurd promise of keeping interest rates low for 2.5 years. You know, Bernacke is the lapdog of Obama, so don't believe a word he says. And ultimately, you know, foolish people, kind of went back into the market. So there was a rally yesterday of 400 points, but it was all fake. Today, reality is setting in and the market is tanking again. And it's going to go down a lot more. So once again, get the hell out of the stock market. You know, currencies around the world are being reevaluated. Putin is talking about doing quantitative easing over there in Russia. All of it, not good. Over in the UK, London, and all across the country, they've got rioting. And you know what? Rioting has happened. You know, it's been in Spain and in France, but you know, the UK is really a picture of what's coming to the United States and what is actually already here. Over there in the UK, you basically got, you know, conservatism and austerity measures going against social, progressive, and communistic ideology of big government and the welfare state. You got class warfare. You know, over here in the United States, our president has been stoking the fires of class warfare. The Democratic Party loves to do class warfare to pit Americans against each other, the haves against the have-nots. But over in England, you know, it's at a whole nother level because, you know, to be quite honest, just a month ago, we watched the royal family with the royal wedding. And you know what? Nobody gives a shite about the royal family. They shouldn't even exist. In the modern world, there's no such thing as kings and queens. You know? So the disenfranchised, the unemployed, the youth who have no hope, and, you know, there's definitely an element of hooliganism and criminality, but you mix it all together and it's an uprising. And what you also have is the police unable to control it all, so now it's everywhere over there. And even normal citizens are having to make a choice and take a stand to confront the mobilization that's burning down their houses. And you know, Americans, we need to wake the hell up, because it's coming. In Philadelphia, the mayor already is setting a curfew for Friday and Saturday nights because they're afraid of what is already happening and what might be happening. You know, over in Wisconsin, we just had the recall election. And, you know, I'm pretty happy that the Tea Party and that the governor and the Republicans and the conservatives basically won. And the liberal progressives, you know, who thought they were starting some kind of a movement that was going to sweep across America, got their asses kicked. And you know what? Next week there's going to be another recall election, and I predict that the Democratic senators in Wisconsin get recalled. But you know what? It's actually bad news because on one hand, you know, we could be happy to say, you know, hey, we beat them back. You know, there's hope. There's hope that even in Washington, you know, maybe the debt committee will, somehow start cutting back government waste and just, you know, the welfare state, because it's just incredible. You know, the government is way, way, way too big. But the class warfare in Wisconsin, you know, was, that's what was happening there. If you watched MSNBC, which is, the propaganda channel here in the United States, they just make up stuff, man. If you're watching MSNBC and believe in anything they're saying, then you're a Kool-Aid drinker, man. Ed Schultz is a meathead. I watched that show. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker. I just watch it to see how bad it is. But they spent all night long with a staged crowd of communistic, unionized people imported from wherever, sitting there cheering all night long like, oh, we're Americans and we're gonna, this thing's gonna, it's taken off, and they got crushed. But you know what? It's bad news, because the reality is the far left, the progressive movement, if they can't take over from the inside out, top, bottom down, that BS or whatever it is that they push, they got the president and the White House pushing all their agenda, and yet somehow in America we're managing to stop Obamonomics. The Barackalypse is upon us, the apocalypse. But what I'm going to tell you is, when they realize that they can't win this thing in the ballot box, that they can't actually change the system into a socialistic, communistic welfare state, using the process, they're going to be the first ones to go the other direction, which is to incite civil unrest and revolution, and to push people out into the streets. And they welcome the hooligans and the youth, and if they can't win it fairly, they'll win it the other way through brute force, and class warfare. So, I'm seeing dark days ahead, because I think the left realizes that 2012 could be a turning point. And right now, politically, their backs are against the wall. So I think they're going to just go to plan B, which is to just take down the country by any means necessary, and, I think, once again, a lot of us Americans are going to have to figure out, what side we're on, and if we're going to take a stand, And I was watching the financial channels today, and they had this one economist on there, but she was saying, and there's a racial element to this. I wish there wasn't. America's a big melting pot, but once again, we've got people playing up the fears. And the progressive left, if you're in the Tea Party, if you're waving a flag, we've been branded racists, And there's been a whole propaganda movement, especially on MSNBC, calling us terrorists and, hostage takers. And, once again, turning us against each other. And this one analyst on the TV show this morning talked about how there's 4 million scared white men out there, because right now we're bearing the brunt of, and you know what, there's a mess load. Black people unemployment is as high as it's ever been. Obama has done nothing for the black community. But that being said, there's a lot of white guys that are out of work, including myself. And nowadays I feel like I'm at the bottom of the pecking order, and I'm not whining about it, but I just think when it comes to hiring, they're going to hire women, minorities, gays, and I'm actually 49, so my age is going against me. I got diabetes, so that's going against me. I've been unemployed for 2 years, so that's the biggest discrimination there is companies won't hire you if you're long-term unemployed. So we got a culture of desperation brewing in America, and we got class warfare being launched on by the political elites in Washington. And you mix it all together, and it's not looking good. And once again, I think the world is just ready to go into total turmoil. World War III, I think, has actually started, but I think it's going to escalate as every day and minute goes by. Over in Israel, they got, a lot of discontent there. And, once again, it's always the progressive, left that's pushing people to get out into the streets and protest. And because what they know is eventually they can turn that into riots and violence. And, the Middle East, the chaos continues. President Assad, even though he's not a president, he's a dictator, they're going from town to town with the tanks, just slaughtering and doing whole-scale genocide on people. And once again, you don't hear one peep from our President Obama. And what about his secret war in Libya? That's gone nowhere, and Gaddafi's still sitting there killing people left and right. So, I think the time has come, and the dark forces are gathering, and I think you're going to see more mobilization from the countries over there, and eventually they're going to turn their focus, and these are the Arab Muslim countries. They're going to turn their focus to Israel, because that's what actually unites them, is their common hatred for the Jewish state. And I think it's just dark days. Weather-wise, things are still, kind of crazy. The Earth is obviously going through some kind of, climate change on an extreme level, and I think that's all pointing to the 2012 galactic alignment. I think there's something out there, and if our scientists know something about it, they're not telling anybody. So, the smart people have been saying, prepare, get extra food, get supplies, find, safe havens that you can use or go to. And, once again, figure out who you are and what you value. Just because people are waving American flags, that doesn't mean they're American anymore. And, even Tea Party people, waving a flag doesn't mean a whole lot. It's what you actually stand for. And the Disarm America time bomb is in motion, set to go off around November, December. The Democrats nominated their first 3 senators, which are all ideologues. Kerry, the one liberal senator from, I think it's from Washington. But I guarantee you, there's not going to be any compromise coming out of that committee. So we're looking at just drastic cuts in our military and also our health care, because Washington, the politicians, that's what they put into the Compromise and Demise of America bill. And you know why they put it in there? Because they want the system to collapse. Washington's not doing anything to save the country. They're actually going the opposite direction of making sure that this great country of ours collapses. So it's going to be a trying time for the people of this country. But you know what? I'm going to think positive. On the website, I'm getting more of the Confront stuff up. I still got the Confront Reality page to get going. And I'm also going to put up some slightly political stuff, a Declaration of Transformation document, which will hopefully be a path to a brighter future in America. If Washington won't do it, I'll do it. I'll get a document up there that says, here's what's got to happen if there's any hope for this country at all. And, locally, we all got to stand up, in the neighborhoods, pick up the trash. I've been picking up extra dog poop, kicking creepy people out of the park, helping one another. At the Safeway, there's more people begging for money than ever. And Americans are generous people, because I see people coming out of the store and just handing these guys money. Some of them may be scamming it, but it just doesn't matter. It's all problematic and symptoms of where the country is heading, which is into the toilet. And you know what? The 2012 election isn't going to come soon enough, man. So, don't hold your breath waiting for the elections to accomplish anything. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to keep my eye on the market today. I'm expecting it to crash even further. It was down about 400 points. Korea, South and North Korea are firing weapons at each other. All around the globe, it's nothing but bad news. The tribulation continues. Keep the faith. Keep on rocking. Peace.